We never had a firm foundation at all.
I knew I was hurting him.
As far as I knew, I was a single dad of 4.
I had an affair. I met him at church probably about 2 years before we were even dating.
I had been praying a lot, and I just knew this is who I wanted to be with the rest of my life. Well, when we first got married, you know, it was like any other couple. You're excited.
I got pregnant 3 months into the marriage.
About a week and a half before Christmas, we lost a baby.
I think a year went by and I stayed depressed for that whole year. We'd look up scripture verses and start praying.
She was able to pull herself out, and we got pregnant.
You're happy, you know, excited, you're having your first baby, and it went really, really well. Postpartum depression set in on my part. I had my third daughter. It was good for a little bit, but depression set in even worse. I just felt like just a heavy weight on my shoulder, having so many kids so close together.
And we ended up, she left.
So I told him that I've always been called a quitter, and because of that, it was just put in me, and I guess I'm just gonna quit the marriage.
As far as I knew, I was a single dad of 4. She just gave up.
It's like something clicked inside my head again, and, you know, God's saying, what are you doing? So we decided to work out our problems and do counseling and go from there.
We had never actually had counseling. We've had some people that would try to help us, but we didn't really know what was in store.
At this point, I didn't tell Matt what I had done. I've already ripped his heart out, you know, a ton, and here I am gonna rip his whole heart out even more.
People handle those kind of things very differently. Some people can't deal with what's going on inside of them, but John 8:32 says, "And you shall know the truth, and the truth shall set you free."
We had come for the first morning, and we came in here and sat down, and I knew, I was like, okay, you know, because they were going to go to each couple and, you know, start really asking, and I knew, you know, okay, this is it, you know, I have to. So I told him, you know, that we needed to go down to the room. I'm not kidding. We had 5 minutes. It was a terrible time for me to tell him because, you know, you didn't have time to sit there and talk through the situation. It was just boom. That's it. I had an affair. And it was pretty bad. And then having to tell Matt, that was the worst. I mean, his heart, you know, we would just hold his heart. Like, oh God.
When they first came in, I remember you could see the pain overwhelm both of them.
They basically ask you simple questions and then they let you talk the rest of the time.
It was something to where we looked at each other and we both said, we got it now. We actually had a foundation. We felt like our feet were on solid ground. We never felt that way.
Now, we do have some conflicts, but with what they taught us here, it's like, okay, we stop, we think, and look back at what we learned here.
This is the woman that God showed me when I asked him if I was supposed to marry her. She's an incredible wife. I would recommend the National Institute of Marriage for anybody that feels like there's no hope left in your marriage.